Hello again everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the ruler of the 12th house posited in the 11th house in a natal horoscope. Well, as most of you know, the 12th house is connected with restrictions, limitations, our self-undoing, solitude, seclusion, even hospitals, prisons, things that we do in private. We look at the 11th house, it's connected with group activity, friends, acquaintances, humanitarian efforts, goals, aspirations. Anyway, let me get started. First thing we'll look at is, I think one obvious conclusion we could come to on this is that the person that has this placement might experience restrictions, limitations in conjunction with friends, their aspirations, goals, their acquaintances, group involvement, maybe something connected with social reform or advocacy. Even maybe this person doesn't, for some reason, doesn't attain really what he or she wants to do as far as maybe work, for example, in connection with this. Look at this placement too, and we might see some kind of ambiguity, ambivalence, confusion in matters connected with the 11th house, or confusion might impact things that are connected with the 11th house, such as their friends, such as acquaintances, such as goals, aspirations, their group involvement, perhaps even things that are connected with social reform or advocacy, things that are associated with humanitarian efforts. Maybe there are times this person wants to do something on a humanitarian level, but that maybe doesn't know what organization to do this with, or maybe has difficulty in deciding the people to show their humanitarian efforts toward. Look at this placement as well, and this is the house that's connected with solitude and seclusion, and maybe the need for privacy and introversion might impact their relationship with their friends. Perhaps this person does a lot of some networking in private, and maybe makes a lot of friends on the internet through social networking. This person might be very private and secretive, or connected with their views on social reform advocacy. The things they do of a humanitarian nature might be things that they don't really like to talk about. And this might be the person that likes to be philanthropic and show compassion towards certain people and things, but it's not something that maybe they boast about or talk about. More of a doer as opposed to a talker as far as these things may go. It's possible that hospitals and or prisons might impact some relationship with friends, with their acquaintances, maybe even form an attitude towards social reform advocacy. It might impact how the humanitarian side of this person to some degree. Perhaps an experience in a hospital makes this person more of somebody, more of a humanitarian type of a person, be willing to give more selflessly of his or herself. This person, as we look at this house as the house of restrictions, it's possible there might be restrictions that are connected with friends, with some organizations, with clubs. Maybe this person has an aversion toward joining clubs. Maybe has more of the preference to do things by himself or by his or herself. There might be some loss to some degree, maybe connected with friends. For example, maybe a friend or friends. Relationships might dissipate with many of their friends or acquaintances that they meet. Maybe there might be some restriction with the social reform, with social advocacy to some degree. Maybe this person experiences a loss with someone they know in connection with one of these things. We look at the 12th house, and it's connected with secret enemies or adversaries, and perhaps in some isolated cases, maybe this person or people might impact this person's goals or aspirations, or put I guess you could say, the monkey in the wrench, or you know what I'm trying to say, the wrench, monkey wrench in their plans, or something that's connected, or stumbling block in their way and connected with their goals or aspirations. It could be a situation maybe where one or more secret enemies may badmouth this person to their friends and impact the relationship with his or her friends or acquaintances, might impact something connected with group involvement, perhaps even something connected with humanitarian, some humanitarian group, for example, that this person may join. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the ruler of the 12th house posited in the 11th house in a natal horoscope. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about the ruler of the 12th house in the 12th house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis on a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.